Fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight. You're in for one crazy ride tonight on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show. Hashtag one on Facebook. Gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, hold on tight. You're in for one amazing, super cool, and just awesome ride tonight on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show. Hashtag one on YouTube. Tonight we have with us racing superstar Elliott Cox. Welcome to the show, Elliott.
Thank you for having me.
So, Elliott, let's talk about your racing career. Where did it all begin for you?
So I started racing when I was 5 years old. I originally wanted a dirt bike, but nobody in my family thought that was a good idea. So my grandpa and I have been spending a lot of time together, and he took me to the go-kart store. And we weren't planning on buying anything, but we came home with a little kid cart without my mom's permission. And we got home and we asked her to help us unload. And she goes, "What in the world did you buy?" And when she saw it was a little race car, she called him crazy and told me I never drive it anywhere but the grass. But go-karts don't really work very well in the grass. So she was actually the one who took me to Whiteland Raceway Park for the first time and actually got me driving lessons. And since then, I just fell in love with it and got pretty good at it too.
Okay. So your mom was a little not too thrilled with that situation, huh?
Yeah, no, she was not very happy about it.
So Elliott, so you got really good racing at Whiteland Raceway. Did you have a lot of success right out of the gate, or did it take a little time to get too acclimated to the whole racing thing?
When I first started, I was actually really slow. But it took me about probably 6 or 7 months before I got my first win at Newcastle. And then once I got my first win, I just really started getting the hang of it, and I never looked back.
Okay. So, okay, ever since you started racing at Newcastle and you got really good, then where did you go from there?
After we started getting pretty good, we did our first national race, WK Kershaw. Uh, I swept the weekend, my first national weekend in go-karts ever. And then we just kept going up the ranks in the national series through Micro Swift when I won the National SCUSA Championship in 2017, all the way through KA Senior is where I am at right now. And I've won the Whiteland Raceway Park local championship in KA Senior last year. And now I'm actually racing USF Juniors with Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing.
Okay. So let's talk about your race car number now, Elliott. Where did that all come from?
So my number 67 started out, well, I was originally number 51. Um, I got that from Doc Hudson from the Cars movies. He was number 51. But now I'm number 67 just because that's the Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development Team number. That's what Sarah was always as she came up the racing ranks. And that's just always been the team number. And I figured I would probably use it too.
Okay. And another thing too, Elliott, the number 51, that's Rowdy Burns and Cole Trickle's number in Days of Thunder.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
So Elliott, okay, so now okay, you moved her from WKA series to the US AF series, right?
Yep. USF
Okay,
Juniors.
USF juniors. Okay. So what was the transition like for you to transition over there? Did it take a little learning curve to get into that series or
Definitely, yeah. The transition from karts to cars is pretty massive. It's a lot more physical in cars. The braking and throttle application is way different. Shifting is a lot to get used to as well. It's just a whole different beast and a whole different driving style. So it did take me a little bit to get used to it, but we finally, at the beginning of this year, started to figure out. Me and the team got our first win at Homestead, Miami this winter, and we've had a lot of other good results this season as well.
okay? So Elliott, okay, now okay, talking about the 67 Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing. So what's it like to work for Sarah Fisher?
It's awesome. The dream opportunity for me, really. I never, in my wildest dreams, imagined I would be racing for this team as I was growing up. Watching them in IndyCar and then getting this opportunity from them has just been really a dream come true to be able to chase my dreams of being the youngest winner of the Indy 500, starting out in this junior series with this experience of a team with these great people behind me, all my sponsors, as well as Hartman Oil, Tony Alderson Commercial Group, Chick-fil-A, Brad Larson, my engineer, Kyle O'Gara, Andy O'Gara, Sarah, and my boss, Danny.
Okay. So, Elliott, did you ever get a chance to meet her driver, Joseph Newgarden, when he drove for her in the IndyCar series?
I did not. I was not involved in that program when he was still driving for them.
Okay. So now, Elliott, let's talk now about, okay, you had a lot of success in the USF series, you said, right?
We've had quite a bit of success, yeah. It hasn't been the most amazing season this season so far. We got the first win in Homestead, but we've just had a lot of not very great luck. But when we've had the luck go our way, we've gotten top 5 finishes every time, and a lot of good success.
Okay. So, Elliott, where do you see yourself in 5 years with your racing career?
In 5 years, the goal is to be an IndyCar.
Okay. And how about in 10 years?
Still an IndyCar.
Still an IndyCar. Okay. So, have you ever gotten a chance to meet any of the IndyCar drivers at all?
I've met quite a few of them. Justin Wilson was and still is one of my biggest inspirations for racing. A lot of people don't know, or maybe they do know, that he had dyslexia, and I'm also dyslexic, which is a reading disability. Um, when he passed away in his crash at Pocono, before that, I had actually got to sit down with him, and he told me not to let dyslexia stop me. And it was just a really great inspiration for me. So when he passed away in that crash, I wanted to carry on his legacy, and I actually started a charity called Driving for Dyslexia at 10 years old to help raise money for kids with dyslexia, raise money for teacher training scholarships. And since then, we've raised over $250,000 for kids with dyslexia, and I'm hoping to raise a ton more.
So, okay, let's talk about this driver for dyslexia program. So, was it a small idea that you started out with, or just kind of, and then it just took off, or?
It was an idea that I started out with probably a month or two after. I had the idea, and my parents have always been super supportive of me in my racing, so they actually really brought the idea to fruition, along with the Dyslexia Institute of Indiana and lots of other sponsors and supporters that have made it happen. It's gone further than I ever imagined it would have already in this small amount of time, and hopefully we could just keep raising a lot more money so it can keep growing.
Okay. So, Elliott, so driving with dyslexia is on your race car, which is pretty cool. That's a pretty cool livery you got on your car there. So, Elliott, okay, now when you're strapped into your race car to go out and take the track, what's going through your mind to get you focused to go out on that track?
Before I go out on the track, I like to do a lot of mental exercises to get me in the zone. Ben Newman has been my mental toughness coach since I was probably 7 or 8, maybe earlier than that. He's taught me how to get mentally in the zone, how to mentally prepare for races, and all that training has helped me immensely through my career. Like, say you have a hard race an hour before your next one, and you need to get into the zone and just forget about the last one. A lot of that is just preparation once you get in the car, and just feeling comfortable.
Okay. So, Elliott, now let's talk to, okay, when you're on your way to your racetrack, do you listen to like a particular song that kind of helps get you fired up to go into race weekend?
Not really. I just kind of really just those mental exercises in the car. It's
Okay.
the whole way there. The car or the plane is just mentally getting in the zone and preparing. I watch a lot of onboards going to the track from other drivers just to learn the track.
Okay. But do you listen to music too to wind down or not?
Not a lot, really. A lot of winding down for me is actually getting home and just getting back on my simulator. Having that is kind of like an escape for me. When I'm not at the racetrack, I can still be at a virtual racetrack, and that's just kind of where I'm
Okay.
the happiest. I guess I could say, and
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So Elliot, when you're at the racetrack and you're getting hungry, what's your favorite thing to eat at the track?
I don't like eating at the racetrack, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Uh, but I do need to eat quite a bit there. So really, the only thing that I can eat, I eat a lot of fruit, um, jerky, occasionally beef jerky. Avocado is one of my favorite things. It's really light but really rich in nutrition. So I'll do that a lot.
Okay. Then when you're away from the racetrack, what's your favorite restaurant to eat at there, Elliot?
That's
I'm
hard.
I'm sorry
I
to
have a
put you on the
lot of
spot
them.
like this, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have a favorite restaurant. Really, wherever I can get good food is where I'll eat. Uh, Chick Fil A. Chick Fil A is my favorite.
Okay. Here's another good one for you, Elliot. When your mom is fixing you a home cooked meal, what is your favorite home cooked meal that your mom fixes you?
She makes really good pastas.
Okay.
Chicken noodle soup is one of my favorites, but I can't have that a lot because I need to eat way more calories than that.
Okay. Okay. So, Elliot, what grade are you going to be in this year?
I'm a sophomore
You're a
in high
sophomore.
school.
Okay. So, Elliot, okay. So, who is your racing hero?
Justin Wilson.
Justin Wilson. Okay. So, Elliot, okay. Now, when you said you're away from the racetrack, you like to wind down by doing racing simulator. Do you do a lot of iRacing then?
Yep, my favorite racing simulator is iRacing. A lot of what I do training with Racecraft One and Kelly Jones. A lot of before the weekend and after the weekend debriefing with them and preparing for the next one. I drive a lot of practice sessions with Kelly Jones, who gets me prepared to go to the tracks before I'm even there.
Okay. So, what is your favorite racetrack you've raced on this far in your racing career?
So far, I think my favorite track has got to be either Virginia International Raceway or Mid Ohio.
Okay. Okay. So, Elliot, okay. So, what is your home racetrack then?
My home track for karting is Whiteland Raceway Park, and I don't really have a home track for the Formula or the USF Junior stuff. We do a lot of testing at the Putnam Park track, which is around 45 minutes away. So I guess that you could call that my home track.
Okay. 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 So, Elliot, have you gotten your driver's license yet?
I do not. I'm still 14 years old. I
Oh,
get
okay.
my birthday's in August. I think 13 days away, but who's counting?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting my permit, and that'll terrify my mom and dad as well.
Oh, yes. Yes. So, Elliot, who are some of your friends at the track?
A lot of my friends at the track. Uh, oh, that's hard. I, I I like to be friendly with as many of drivers as I can because you don't want to make enemies on track
Oh, yeah.
because it just ruin a whole weekend if you get in a bad uh, interaction with one. So really, as anybody who I interact with, I try to be friends with. So I have a lot of people that I'm friends with.
Okay. I know on your cart, you're really good friends with Austin Olds.
I am. I'm friends with Austin Olds, Chase Jones, all of the MPG Motorsports guys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really close with. They've been really great to me over the past few years. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Elliot, okay. Now, who all works on your race car for you?
Kyle O'Gara, Brad Larson, Andy O'Gara, Greg from what? Greg Beck. I forgot his last name.
Yeah. So, Elliot, okay. Now, when it comes to your racetrack, do you like a track that's really slick, or do you like one that's, it's got the right groove to it?
I mean, every race car driver would probably tell you that a racetrack with a good groove is more enjoyable to race on just because you know where the car will be every lap. But a track that is slick as well is also a challenge to drive on, which makes it fun because you have to guess, or not guess, but you never know what the car is going to react to differently. Every once in a while, it'll do something that you're not expecting, and you'll have to be able to catch it, and that makes it a lot of fun.
Okay. Okay. So, Elliot, do you have anything you want to ask me?
How did you get into starting to make this podcast or
Get this
YouTube channel?
podcast started going. I have a friend of mine that's about an hour and a half away from me, and he's a race car driver along with his son. And I've been a racing fan for 30 years, and they're the ones that shot the idea to me to do this for you kids.
That's awesome.
Yes. So, do you have a racing nickname, Elliott?
Not really. I don't think so. Just my
Well,
name.
I'm the Full Throttle Rockstar is my racing nickname.
I got for one of my saves I made at VIR earlier in the year, I got called or nicknamed Quick Hands, but
Okay.
otherwise, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. So, Elliott, so you like to watch IndyCar racing. What other types of racing do you like to watch on TV?
I watch IndyCar and F1 mainly. I like watching NASCAR when it's on. Really, any racing that I can find
Okay.
on TV works well.
Okay. Okay. So, Elliott, thank you very much for being on the racing show with me tonight. So who do y'all have for sponsors on your racing team?
I have Elite Performance, Alderson Commercial Group, Chick-fil-A, Southport Road, Kelly Landscaping, Business Art Design, Whiteland Raceway Park, Aries Elite Sports Vision, Hartman Oil. I think that's about it. Driving for Dyslexia.
Okay.
Rayco, Greg Cox. And I also have something for you that I'll be sending to you soon. I have an Elliott Cox Racing shirt.
Very cool. Very
That'll be
awesome.
coming your way.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. Has that got a picture of your go-kart on the back too, or?
It does not. This is the original. These are actually really hard to find now, so it might be worth a lot of money later on.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Also, I'd like to have an autographed picture of your race car too, if we could make that happen.
For sure, we'll send that with it as well.
Okay. So, Elliott, thank you again for being on the racing show with me tonight, talking to us about your racing career. Do you want to talk more about your Drivers with Dyslexia program, some fundraising things you got going on?
For sure. With Driving for Dyslexia, we have the Driving for Dyslexia Grand Prix at Whiteland Raceway Park coming up soon. We'll have we'll have a pro-am with some pro drivers going on at Whiteland as well. A lot of super exciting stuff. We have auctions for all of our events. We have really cool items, signed visors, team shirts, just a lot of really cool racing memorabilia and other stuff as well. Just lots of events like that, and follow Driving for Dyslexia on Instagram and Facebook for the most recent updates on any other auctions we have, any other events that are going on. I would really appreciate that as well.
So one of my last questions for you, Elliott, what do your classmates think of you being a race car driver?
I kind of kept it under the radar for the first bit of my freshman year, just to try to be a normal kid at school for a little bit. And I was on the Today Show, and I came back to school after that interview. And about 2 hours later, it got shown around the school, and now pretty much everybody at school knows that I'm a race car driver. I get a lot of questions all the time about it. But for the most part, it's pretty cool.
So what's one of the worst things you've had happen to you as a race car driver in your racing career?
I've been really lucky. I've never had anything really bad happen. Probably the worst is, I've gotten ran over in a go-kart and flipped a few times. Probably the worst is a couple of bruises, a sprained wrist, a headache, and I've been really fortunate not to have any bad injuries.
Okay. So do you help work on your race car at all, Elliott, or not?
The most that my racing team will let me do is clean it for the big car. But this year for my go-karting stuff, I work a lot on it for local stuff. My dad has been really helpful. He's taught me a lot about what there is to know about the karting stuff. So that's probably the only stuff I'll work on is my go-kart.
Okay, I got one last question for you. I know you race car drivers collect things. So what do you collect, Elliott?
I don't really collect a ton of things.
Do you collect racing diecasts at all, or?
Yeah, I have a few die casts. Not an overly big amount of them though. I like I collect a lot of racing hats.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So what's your most famous racing hat you've gotten so far?
I don't really have a ton of famous ones. I have a lot signed by drivers that I don't know how famous they are, but I like them. I like them all just to have them. My dad thinks I have too many, but I don't. So
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Elliott, for being on the racing show with me tonight, talking to us about your racing career, getting to know you a little bit better. And what is your hometown? What town do you live in, Elliott?
I live in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Okay. So, Elliott, I'll let you step out and I will call you in just a little bit with the number that was texted to me. And I'll thank you that way. And we'll talk a little bit more on the phone, but I'll let you step out. Thank you very much, Elliott, for being on the racing show with me tonight.
Thank you
But
for having me.
one last thing, Elliott. Do you have anything else you want to say to the kids to help get them in a race car?
If you want to start racing, you can get a kid cart. It's probably on Facebook Marketplace or at Comet Kart Sales. We have some carts for sale at Whiteland, and the best thing for at least that I think would be the best thing is come to Whiteland and learn how to drive there. And if you can drive well at Whiteland, you can really drive pretty well everywhere. So I recommend coming to Whiteland.
Okay. Thank you very much, Elliott. I'll let you step out now. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, just give a little racing news update for you there. Going into race weekend here, we've got some big races going on this coming weekend. The NOS Energy Drink World Knoxville Nationals is going on this week. So good luck to the drivers there. The front row challenge last night was won by Kyle Larson in the 57 car. He's on his way to a back-to-back deal. So hopefully Kyle Larson can pick up the Knoxville Nationals championship. That'd be awesome too. Also, ladies and gentlemen, there's still a lot of racing going on out there. Definitely NASCAR is going on. Bubba Wallace picked up a second place finish last weekend at Michigan. And then Kevin Harvick won the race. So congratulations to Kevin Harvick. But also, ladies and gentlemen, definitely go to your nearest racetrack, check things out, get a chance to talk to the drivers and stuff like that. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to sponsor my racing show, email me at jjnolan151@gmail.com, or you can call or text me at 712-209-7138. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Catch you later on another episode of the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube. Stop.